welcome to Military History Chronicles. Thank you for joining me for this evening. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Thursday evening. It's beautiful here in the Central Valley of California. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Thursday night. Weekend is upon us. And yeah, let's do some more military history chronicle type stuff. Going to do something that happened recently, right? The Russian-Ukrainian war. Something that we've been talking about often here on Military History Chronicles, and it's the technology that is being used today on the battlefield. It's all new. Well, most of it's new, but the use of drone technology is I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see this as far as the strategic level. I kind of mentioned that in the description. You see it a lot. I mean, if you're keeping an eye on what's going on in the Russian-Ukrainian war, you see a lot of it happening at the tactical level, right there on the battleground. You know, drones attacking vehicles, men on the ground, and as such, hitting dugouts. But this operation that the Ukrainian armed forces were able to conduct was absolutely fantastic. And we'll just get into it. And, you know, here, another big question is, are other nations watching what is going on here? Is this a way forward? Because let's talk about this. The dollar amount to produce these drones is much less than your traditional military type of equipment, whether it's tanks, airplanes, you name it, man. It's you're talking about something that's costing hundreds of dollars, in the hundreds of dollars, as compared to in the millions, and in some cases billions of dollars. And they're able to have the same effect as the other the traditional type of military equipment. So it's absolutely fascinating what is going on. I've said this before, that the Russian-Ukrainian war is an absolute laboratory of how the battlefield is changing. What's up, Eric? So let's take a dive. So what happened was it last week? Can't remember the exact date. Forgive me. The Ukrainian armed forces were able to complete a drone strike on, I think it was 4 different air bases, where it hit Russia's strategic bomber force. Right? How they did it is they used tractor trailer. I guess they had modular homes on the back, but they weren't modular homes. It was just a facade where they were able to have what do you call it? Drones. As a matter of fact, you know what? I think I still have it. Hold on, I'm gonna have to find it. Just give me a minute. But they were able to launch these drones from these, I'll just say tractor trailers, and they was able to have devastating effects against the aircraft that were just sitting out the open. Again, this is something that other nations are going to have to start taking a look at, for the simple fact, how do you protect your strategic bombers? You know, usually you don't have hardened shelters for big bombers. You'll see them at different bases as far as fighter aircraft. You'll see hardened, or they call them HAZs, where it protects your aircraft from bombs. In this case, drones. Hold on, here it is. Oh, this is just absolutely insane. Here, I'll give you an example. If you guys haven't seen this, crazy. It's crazy. Hold on one second. Let's do this. There we go. All right, here we go. As you can see, there's the tractor trailer, got the modular homes on the back. But let's take a look.
Вот он, коптер опять взлетел. Откуда взлетает, ничего не понятно, блядь. Вот он, клоун, блядь. Оба ни с того ни с сего, сука. Оба! Вот дела, блядь. Ёб твою мать, до чего техника дошла. А нахуя мы работаем за рулем-то, блядь? Лучше он коптером управляй, нахуй. Грузовой и все. О, блядь. А, это менты сшибают его, прикинь. Это какой-то раз. С автомата очередь, нахуй. О, нихуя себе дела, блядь. Оказывается, пидорас, оказывается. Во, блядь. Менты промазали, нахуй. Ёбаный, он опять туда полетел, сука, в эту гущу, нахуй. Вот еще один, сука, пидорас. Вот он, еще один пидорас.
So absolutely incredible to see this type of tactic being used. I mean, this is crazy. So you got these tractor trailers who were parked close to where these air bases are. And there you go, out the top of these damn modular homes came the drones. Unbelievable. And what did they do? They went and hit, like I said, the strategic bombers of the Russian Air Force. These are the same aircraft that are launching missiles, cruise missiles, and hypersonic missiles against the Ukraine. And majority of their targets are civilian targets. So how is Ukraine responding? Well, they're responding by hitting those specific bombers that have been wreaking havoc on Ukraine. But I tell you what, this is a huge step forward in this type of technology. Look at this. This is Ukraine, right? As I said, using drones to hit some high valuable target. Look, this is part of Russia's triad. What is the triad? It's triad because you got 3 ways of delivering nuclear weapons: by bombers, by submarines, and by intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. So not only, look, these bombers are being used for conventional use, of course, but this is also part of what Russia uses if they want to do a nuclear strike. So this isn't to be taken lightly. This is something that was absolutely incredible. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, they said it was like 18 months worth of planning for them to commit this. But again, the Ukrainians are showing some resolve. They're like, no, all right, you want to keep, you don't want to be serious about peace because, of course, Russia has been kicking the can, so to speak, stringing along. They have no desire of peace. Come on, no matter what they're saying out there, they have absolutely no desire for peace. They want to obliterate Ukraine. There's no doubt about that. But for Ukraine to go out there and commit this type of act it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant to be able to undertake such a mission and to have some success. I mean, I've heard varying degrees of aircraft that were hit. I heard anywhere from 40 all the way, between 14 and 40 aircraft were affected during this operation. I don't know. I mean, heck, it's going to be somewhere in the middle, I'm guessing. But to see this occur, it shocked me. Honestly, I didn't see this coming. And like I said, this is not a tactical type of situation. You're talking about strategic. You're taking out a high value target in these Russian bombers. Now the question is going to be is what is the rest of the world going to do as far as these drones? It's taking on a whole different type of a mindset that you have to do when you're wanting to conduct war in the 21st century. The biggest thing is protecting your valuable assets, because look at this. If a few drones can accomplish this type of damage, you know what? We better be protecting for that type of stuff. You look at how bases park their aircraft or how they store their aircraft, if that's a better way of explaining it. They're in the wide open, man. And again, people don't think that hey, we're fine. We're on our home territory. Nothing's going to happen to us. If they shoot a missile, we're going to know that a missile's coming, whatever it may be. But you get someone flying drones, this takes on a totally different aspect of not only using this type of technology, but defending against it. Oh man, this is something. I never expected drones to be used in such a manner. Like I said off the top of the show, you see it on the battlefield, but as far as using it as a cruise missile, I mean, holy crap, dude. This is just something that I never thought we would see, to be honest with you. I guess I shouldn't say never thought, but I didn't think the technology would be that far ahead. And obviously it is. And I'll tell you, the Ukrainians are at the forefront. These are the guys who are leading the charge in drone technology as far as military applications. And it was only a few days later, they had an underwater drone, if you will, a submersible drone that blew up one of the foundations of the Kerch Bridge. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible in what the Ukrainians are able to do. And look, they're developing all this on their own. This isn't stuff that's being given to them. This is stuff that they're developing on their own in their own country. And it's just absolutely incredible. And look, you got to tip your hat to these guys. These guys know how to fight, and they're not giving up. They're not giving up. They got a lot of fight in them. They got a lot of pride in their country, which is fantastic. But the West better be involved in this, to be honest with you. What I mean by involved, they need to be in Ukraine, seeing what they're doing, taking notes, because this is incredible. I mean, I've heard some outrageous numbers of how many drones that Ukraine are developing. I've seen photos of them. I'm just like, holy crap. I mean, it's a force multiplier. Instead of wasting men on the front line, all you got to do is sit out a drone swarm, and next thing you know, the attacking force is decimated. And that's what the Russians are doing. Russians have lost close to 1 million men. 1 million men fighting the Ukraine. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible. And a lot of it, what's happening over these last few years, is because of the drones. The Ukraine army, or the armed forces of Ukraine, they're using drone operators to go out there and do the dirty work, so to speak. Why not? Yeah, hey, if the Russians are going to continue to send meat waves of men, well, there's a way to defend against that. And it's absolutely incredible. And it's, as far as a military historian, just watching this unfold is it's incredible. It's, you got certain moments in military history of where you got new technology. For example, Civil War. You guys know how much I love the Civil War. The advent of the steam locomotive, right? Or even the steam-powered boat. The advent of the telegram, as far as communication. We're talking about, as far as trains are concerned, being able to transport your men, supplies, and such, to be able to get it to the battlefield in a quicker amount of time. The repeating rifle came out during the American Civil War. World War I, you had the invention of barbed wire, right? Machine guns, chemical weapons, the tank, even though the tank wasn't exactly ideal at that time, but it came out. World War II, the strategic bomber, you saw that. The nuclear weapon, right? So, I mean, you're just seeing, it's amazing what the human race can do to invent in killing each other. I mean, it's sad, but that's just the nature of warfare. You take advantage of new technologies and you use it to your benefit. And that's what Ukraine's doing. They're far and ahead above everybody else in the application of using the drone technology in fighting a war, and they're having success. So, what is the West going to do? I mean, what I mean by the West, I'm talking about Europe, the United States, and such. Western country, you could talk about Philippines and Japan and Australia. They're all in there as well. Because again, you got China over there that you're going to have to start worrying about. And I would not be surprised if China is taking full effect on taking stock on what is going on over there between the Russian-Ukrainian war. And it would behoove us to be doing the same thing. This is a learning experience. And if you don't learn, it could be costly. So, man, I tell you what, when I first heard it, when I first was seeing what was going on Twitter, I was like, man, what is this? This can't be real, man. No way. Lo and behold, it was actually occurring. So, anyways, I want to say it's and then bye drones. I don't know what you mean by that. Let's see. crates of drones. Each was worth 2,000 each. Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. In the future, there won't be any more drive-bys. In the future, there won't be no more drive-bys. I don't know what you mean, Val. If you could clarify. What's up, Aaron? How's it going, man? But anyway, thanks for everyone showing up. I see everyone's starting to fill in. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, man, I tell you, just watching the technology of what is going on in this war. I mean, look, and I hope you guys don't think I'm trying to glorify this. I'm not, because people are dying every single day. Matter of fact, your YouTube deleted my message. I don't know what happened. But yeah, just looking, people are dying every day. Matter of fact, Russia just launched another big attack against Ukraine civilians. They don't look, and that's the thing. The Russians aren't attacking military targets. They're attacking civilians in cities. So it's a shame. Unfortunately, that's what you find in warfare. The innocents, unfortunately, get involved. I'm not saying that it's right, not by any stretch of imagination. That shouldn't be happening. But that's just the reality of what's going on. And that's why Ukraine is doing what they're doing. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plans out, because I don't think we're anywhere close to having any kind of peace. It isn't. Nowhere close. And what is it going to take? I don't know, man. I don't know what it's going to take to try to get a ceasefire or even just peace in the Russian-Ukrainian war. I don't. No, Fossey, you're good. Hey, I'm seeing everybody's. I'm not messing with this at all. I can think. No, Putin's not going to use nukes. No, it ain't going to happen. Nope, ain't happening. Dude, I'm telling you right now, there's no way that he is going to use nuclear weapons. It ain't happening. He understands the consequences if that happens. And by the way, he would have to get permission from his buddy Xi Jinping, because Xi Jinping will not allow the Russians to use nuclear weapons. Nope. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He may saber rattle, because that's what he does. He'll saber rattle, but there's no way he's going to use nukes. No way, because that's going to trigger so many other things. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Wasn't the war supposed to end on January 24th? Well, Aaron, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, come on. I think everybody understood. Yeah, China. Correct, Fossey. Correct. I think everyone had a pretty good idea that the war wasn't going to end the day after President Trump got inaugurated. That was just no way. And why he kept going out there saying that, whatever. That's a whole nother story to go down. And I'm not gonna go down that damn path. Not today. But when is peace gonna happen? I can't tell you. I don't think anyone could tell you. I don't think anyone could tell you what's gonna happen. Is Putin gonna have an epiphany? I don't know, man. I don't see it. How is it going to end? I can't tell you. All we could do is just keep watching and see how it pans out. I tell you, this is the thing, and I said this from the very beginning. Anytime you start a war, you just don't know where it can go. You just don't. You may, for example, Putin says it was going to be a 3-day operation. Well, it didn't turn into a 3-day. We're in now year number 4. And he is nowhere close in achieving his objective than he was on February 23rd of 2022. So, whatever. Putin is bloodthirsty, huh? Yeah. Senior said Russian economy is being propped by the war. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Supposedly, they're going to start hitting the brink towards the end of the year. Towards the end of the year, supposedly, they're going to collapse. We'll see. I've heard that before. I heard that like a year after the war started, that their economy was supposed to crash. The thing is Europe and the United States, are they going to get serious in applying sanctions against Russia? Because that will happen. it will speed up Russia's collapse. Russia will collapse if Europe and the United States take it serious. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I can't just answer that question on what Europe. I hear a lot of talk, but not a whole lot of action. So all you could do is just see what's going to happen. Aaron says, so then what is the end result for Russia? Do they actually go down in defeat? What does defeat even look like for them? Aaron, I would argue that they've already lost. I would argue they've already lost. They've lost a lot of equipment, a lot of blood, and a lot of treasure has been lost in this war so far. And again, it's all because of one man, and that's Vladimir Putin. Period. Vladimir Putin is the reason. He's if he wakes up tomorrow and says, I've had enough, well, then it's going to end. Then it'll end. What if Putin kills Z? Who's Z? You talking about Zelensky? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Trust me. He's already tried, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. I think Zelensky's pretty well taken care of. Yes, they did. Russia did lose in Afghanistan. That is correct. Very good, Val. In the 1980s, right? They had an 8-year war with Afghanistan, and they had to pull out. They lost. They lost that war. Who helped them? Hey, Val, who helped the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, Val? Can anyone take a guess? It's a pretty easy answer. Who helped the Mujahideen defeat the Russian? I'm sorry. The Soviet army. There was one country. Yeah, it was United States helped the Mujahideen along with in association with Pakistan to help defeat the Soviet army. Right? The Stinger missile, man. Everyone talks about the Stinger missile. That played an absolute devastation against the Soviet helicopters. They just couldn't. They were done, man. Rambo, there you go. Nice. Yes, Rambo. Rambo was the reason. But yeah, look. Throughout the Cold War, there has been instances where each side has played a factor in the defeat of one country or another. For example, Korean War. Who got involved in the Korean War? Well, that was actually in a coalition, but China got involved, right? Almost turned the tide of the Korean War. But Chinese were involved in that, along with American, Korean, and other nations. Australia, they also played a big role in Korea. Vietnam, who helped the defeat of the United States in Vietnam? The Soviet Union, right? The Soviet Union supplied a lot of arms to the NVA and the Vietnamese government to help defeat the Americans, right? Afghanistan, we just talked about that. The United States helped the Mujahideen defeat the Soviet Union. Here in the Russian-Ukrainian war, the United States, along with Europe, are helping Ukraine defeat the Russians. I mean, this has been going on. I mean, look, I'm just talking about Cold War here stuff. That's it, man. That's it. This Cold War stuff. This is stuff that's been going on since, well, man has become on this earth. Anytime there's war, there's always something to it. But what's it going to go back to the question, what's it going to take for this war to end? Only Putin knows. Honestly, because he's the one that's still wanting to fight. He has no desire of a ceasefire. He has no desire of peace. He wants to continue to fight. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to drive that wedge between Europe and the United States. That's what he's doing. He's trying to drive that wedge. Since NATO was formed back in 1949, the Soviet Union / Russia has done nothing but to try to break up the unity between the United States and other European governments, specifically NATO. And he's trying his best. He is trying his best to try to create that divide that will be unrecoverable. Is he having any success? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how NATO continues, because there's definitely some divisions between the United States and other NATO countries. How is that going to pan out? I don't know, because you still have a threat over in the Western Pacific with China. And if you don't have friends when that stuff kicks off, well, we're gonna be up a creek without a paddle. Let's see. I think Germans would have won World War II if Hitler didn't turn his back on Russia. Possible. That's it. Yeah. There's a lot of history. Of course, Operation Barbarossa, where the Germans decided to turn, as you said, turn their back on Russia. Let's not forget, Soviet Union and Nazi Germany, they had a pact. The Soviet-German pact. You know, they're helping each other. Let's not forget, they divided up Poland, guys. Both Germany and the Soviet Union divided up Poland. So even though the Russians, wind up becoming our allies, they still were not very good people. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this goes, guys. It seems like there's always a new wrinkle when we talk about the Russian-Ukrainian war. And again, it doesn't look like the fighting is going to stop anytime soon. What is Europe going to do? I know Germany has announced they're investing billions of dollars in helping Ukraine. Other European countries are doing the same. The United States kind of been crickets. I don't know what the United States is going to do with Ukraine. I'm a little perturbed. What's up, Graham? Good to see you, man. I'm a little concerned about what's going to happen between the United States and Ukraine. But hey, whatever, man. It is what it is. So how's it going over there, Graham, in your neck of the woods? Pretty good? Hopefully you're having a decent time over there in the Orkneys. I think I said it right. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Talking. I'm getting a lot of stuff about, because let's not forget, 81 years ago, guys, D-Day was transpiring over there on the continent. Oh, you're not at home. Oh, nice. Where you at, Graham? If you could say. Where are you hanging out these days? Ukraine is being outmanned and using technology. Yes, correct. Correct. Oh, I knew that was going to come up. Yeah, I guess you guys saw the news. The brouhaha between Elon and Trump. Whatever. You kind of saw that coming, right? Right? Come on, we kind of saw that coming. Whatever. It is what it is. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But there are some bombs being dropped. There is no doubt about it. Wow. There were some bombs being dropped. What's up, Will? But it's just, what's up, Cole? Come on. Can the adults come into the room, please? Please. I'm tired of this, man. It's It's getting, I can't believe, what is this now? June 5th? Or we're not even 5 months into this presidency. And look, it feels like it's been freaking a couple of years, man. Holy crap, man. It seems like every week there's something weird going on, man. Vetoing the UN's decision. Isn't that had to do with Russia, right? Something about with Russia. I saw a little bit about that. Something about their voting against the UN resolution. Something like that. Well, we're kind of already done with that, Cole. We're just talking about Operation Spiderweb with the Ukrainians military using drones to go out there and attack freaking strategic bombers of the Russian Air Force. Pretty damn crazy, man. Yeah, Will, I know Will's feeling better. His leg is starting to get back into shape, right? Will, getting back into shape? Nice. As Anthony says, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's dumb. It's dumb. Dumb. Yeah, there you go, man. Finally walking. Hey, you're getting there, man. One step at a time. That's all that matters. As long as you're going forward, that's all that matters, dude. Down to his rugby weight. Nice, dude. Right on, man. Sweet. Graham. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Is there anything new breaking? I don't think there is. I think it's all the same. Not a whole lot. Earlier today, it was like I said, all the crazy stuff going on. Ooh, oh, here we go. No. Like I said, I'm getting a lot of D-Day stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh my gosh. That's pretty damn funny. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out the new New York Post cover page. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. Oh yeah, and then Chancellor Mertz showed up in the Oval Office today. I like what Mertz played it well, man, right? Mertz played it pretty damn good today. Of course, Trump made a stupid comment, but Mertz, I think, had the final laugh. That was pretty good. No. Interesting. No, I'm just taking a look here, guys. And nothing. Steve Bannon calling for Trump to pour in. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? Honestly, I really don't want to go on that tangent, to be honest with you. I really don't, because it's just never ending, and it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's a mess right now, guys. It's a mess. It is. It's a mess. Can't we wake up? Can't we just wake up and have a little bit of normalcy? Right? Fossey, look at you. Just normalcy. Is it so hard? Is it so hard just to have a government that can function? Man. It's fun. Yeah, funner. Yeah, okay. It's funner. Yeah, I'll give you that, Cryptic. It's funner. It's just, I don't understand. I mean, how is history going to look upon this? How is history going to look upon our country here in 2025 and maybe beyond? It's just, there's something wrong. And there's been something wrong, right? Look, and I'm not just saying it's just this administration. I'm not saying that. It's just, I don't know what's going on. Guys, let's talk about this. And I mentioned it earlier in some group texts. And I've done this often. Do you remember the speech I always talk about? That President Lincoln, well, I shouldn't say he wasn't president at the time, but Abraham Lincoln back in 1838. Remember the speech I always bring up, guys? I always talk about the country will not be crushed by some transatlantic giant who steps over the ocean and crushes us in a blow. That we're going to die by suicide. And I'm seeing that, guys. I think we've been seeing that for quite a while. Cole is saying Trump is making our country stronger. I don't see that. I don't know how Cole, I mean, you could sit there and that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and attack you, but you're going to have to tell me, how do you think the country is stronger? Cryptic, you're saying Trump isn't the problem? I don't know, man. And I'm just saying I have to disagree. I would just have to disagree. I don't think this country is better off with the decisions that Trump is making. And I don't think the country is better off with a guy who constantly gets on social media and just spouts out some crap that just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's the problem. I don't want to have a government that is where decisions are based on how you're just feeling today. I just don't. It just doesn't make. Let's take an example. We didn't have a president for 4 years. Okay, yeah, Biden was a disaster. Dude, Biden was an absolute disaster. I agree. The problem is more deep. Yeah, okay, I could agree with that. But I'm telling you right now, Trump isn't helping. He's adding to the problem. But let's take a look. How many trade deals have been done ever since the tariffs have been implemented? Let's just talk about it, because that's kind of about that has to do with foreign policy, because now you're affecting other countries, and it could affect how you're going to have your relationships with your friends and your allies and also your enemies. So talk to me. How many trade deals have been implemented since Trump has leveled all these tariffs against every nation on the face of this earth? Right? Right? No trade deal has been done. None. Zero. 90 deals in 90 days. Isn't that what they were talking about? 90 deals in 90 days? think we're sitting at 0. How many days are we in? I think we're getting close, right? When was Liberation Day? Wasn't it like April 4th, something like that? When was Liberation Day? The way we could say this, the way his relationship with Russia is concerning to me. Very concerning, because I'm not understanding what is going on. No, it's not, Graham. It's not. There was no deal with the UK. Zero deal with the UK. And again, sticking with foreign policy, I don't like how he is taking Putin's side on everything. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's uncalled for. It doesn't make sense. None of it. No, Cole, real quick, Cole. Let's talk about this. What manufacturing has he brought back to the United States? What shovel has been put in the ground to bring back manufacturing? And what do you mean by manufacturing? What type of manufacturing are you talking about? Because you're not going to compete with China. You're just not. It's not going to happen. The United States has moved on. The United States doesn't manufacture no more. It just isn't. Okay, what deals have been made for manufacturing to come back to the United States? Just saying. It's we're not going to go back to the Industrial Revolution, guys. It's just not going to happen. That is not the strength of the United States right now. Everybody has shifted everything to China for the manufacturing. That's what they've done. Everybody, the entire world has done that, not just the United States. And it's not companies or it's not nations that are doing this to the United States. It's private companies who decide to go elsewhere. It's just, guys, all I'm asking, iPhones and Apple, you're not going to find people in the United States to make those. Cole, how are you going to find somebody to build an iPhone for pennies on the dollar when you're not going to find that here in the United States? You're just not. It's not going to happen. You're not going to find Americans to go into a factory turning little screws in iPhones. That's why Apple is going to India and China. It's just not going to happen because an American worker is going to demand freaking $20 an hour. The United States isn't the same as it was back at the turn of the 20th century. It just isn't. It's different. And what you're doing is you're creating animosity with your friends and your allies. That's my biggest concern. If you want to get away, I'll get away from the whole manufacturing stuff. But look how he's treating Europe. Right? What was the reason to go after Europe in the way that he did? Look, is Europe perfect? No, it's not. It's not perfect. The United States isn't perfect. But you know what? You talk to each other. You communicate. Just like families have disagreements, man. They do. Families have disagreements. But you got to work together to make it better. Ever since the invasion of Russia of Ukraine back in 2022, things are starting to come around a bit. But it's something that you shouldn't break up. The relationships that we have with Europe. It shouldn't. That's not how it should be. Again, there's issues that need to be worked out, but they should be worked out. You don't sit there and just throw fuel in the fire and just burn everything down. That's not the way to do it. Just doesn't work out that way, man. If you're How did we win the Cold War, guys? How was the West able to win the Cold War? Friends and allies. That's how it worked. Let's not forget, after World War II, the United States was the most powerful nation on this planet. Period. And Rocky defeated Drago. What's up, Jim? It's because we had friends and allies. That's why. If he dies, he dies. Yes, Will. Correct. You had friends and you had allies to help. That's how you won the Cold War. Friends and allies. And Reagan understood that, right, Graham? President Reagan understood that. You were able to, basically you rebuilt Europe, right? Because the United States, again, had all this money to be able to help rebuild Europe, right? And in the meantime, you're able to foster those relationships, right? You want security? We'll give you security, right? And it kept the Soviet Union at bay. We used our wealth for the better good. Okay. That was the right thing to do, is to use our strength, both militarily and economically, to help the world. I've talked about this before. During the Cold War, how many wars broke out in Europe? During the Cold War, how many wars broke out in Europe? Correct, Graham. Yep. Yeah, there was none. There was none. You had Yugoslavia. That was more civil war. That wasn't superpower versus superpower. See, that's the problem right there. You got to have friends. You have to be able to do this. And I'm telling you, China is out there. And if you think, if the United States thinks they can go at it alone against China, it's going to be a long day, man. It's going to be a long day. You have to be strategic in this. You got to play the long game. Because if you're playing games where it's just emotion only, going to lose every single time. And look, and everything is not transactional. There's some things that are more important. Values, a moral compass. Not everything is not based on money. It just isn't. Period. Just the way it is. Unfortunately, we're in a weird time right now. Weird time. Because I don't know, man. Frustrating to watch. All we could do is just be bystanders and kind of talk about it. That's it, man. What happened to no tax? Yeah, big beautiful bill. Oh, that's pretty good, Aaron. That's pretty damn good. What happens first? The Russian-Ukrainian war ends or Adamas starts hitting? That's pretty damn good, man. That's tough. Trump's biggest flaw is his ego. Yes. That's a big one too. That's a big one. That's the problem. And that's the problem, because he'll never. And look, I don't say he has to go out there and admit that he was wrong, but he can make decisions that shows that he was wrong, but he changes course. And that's the problem. I don't think he's going to course correct. He's not going to course correct. He's going to do what he wants to do. And if you look at his cabinet, you could tell his cabinet was not made in a way to have strong voices that would differ from what he feels. I mean, it's some, oh gosh, man. Too much money in war, 100%. Exactly. You would think that Trump would want that, right? Trump's all about making money. Trust me. The defense industry is making money. At least Trump knows what he wants to do, while Biden was this directed by his handlers. Okay, let's talk about this. Just because he knows what he wants to do, is it the right thing, Cole? And at this time, why are we even worried about what the hell happened to Biden? Biden is done with. It's over. He was a disaster. He made horrible decisions, right? But he's not the president anymore. He's not. He's not the president anymore. President Trump is the president. So he needs to do what needs to be done. You crying over what Biden did is going to get nothing, and it's going to go nowhere. I can't look. He was an absolute disaster of a president. I've said that many a times. I've heard, you'd look on some of these past shows. I can't stand the decisions he made. But we have a new president. So what's the point? What's happening now? That's the point. Man, that's the issue I have. Let's go. Come on. Damn, man. Let's get on with freaking governing. How about that? Let's get on with governing. That would be a breath of fresh air. Let's see Congress actually do their job. Whatever, man. Nah. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. This was my third show today. I'm getting freaking tired. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Hopefully, look, guys, I love what you guys have to say. I'm not going to attack anybody. Hopefully that doesn't come across that way. But if you're going to say something, I'm going to ask you, why do you think that way? And then, right, that should be fair. It's not about attacking each other. Even though I may not agree, doesn't mean I despise you. And that's, I think, the problem with today. We got too many people too many people are practicing tribalism. And when you practice tribalism, this is what you're going to get. This is the societal climate that we have today in the United States is because of tribalism. Instead of just going out there and saying, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I think, and this is what I bring to the table of why I think this way, that's fine. That's good. I got no issues with that. But if it's because you don't like my guy, I can't stand you, come on, man. Come on. That's not the way to do it. Whether you can't stand Biden, whether you can't stand Trump or anyone in the middle, then, whatever. If you don't like him, you don't like him. I get it. But if you can't just listen and understand and have an understanding of where people are coming from, we're not going to get anywhere, man. You can't have everything all the time. One thing that this nation has been good for is compromise. And that has just gone out the window. You can't have everything. You can't have everything. You give a little, you take a little. Be in a happy freaking medium. A happy freaking medium. But we're so far on each side that it's just nothing gets done. And as Abraham Lincoln said, we'll die by suicide if we don't figure it out. Anyways, guys, I'm getting the hell out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. It'll probably be a little bit later because I know the Giants game is going to run late tomorrow, but I'll be back on there. So, guys, it's fun. Always love doing this stuff. Oh, by the way, next time, guys, what I'm thinking of doing, my next, in maybe 2 weeks, I'm going to do a show on soft power versus hard power. Okay? Soft power versus hard power. Should be fun because I think it's important because there is different ways that you can project strength from a country. Soft power and hard power. I think that's going to be my next topic. Hopefully current events doesn't screw that up. But yeah, so that should be a good one. Again, soft power versus hard power. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your night and we'll see you tomorrow night. See ya.